You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva and knowledge lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge, where I'm always sharing content from a spiritual perspective. So nevertheless, y'all, I want to get into this right away. I don't want to do a long drawn out greeting. I appreciate all y'all. I'm grateful for all of y'all. And again, thank y'all for all the love, all the support. I really be appreciating y'all ladies. Y'all really be making my day with all your positive energy that you bring to the channel. So I really appreciate y'all. But nevertheless, we got to go into this right away. Nevertheless, y'all, I know y'all have been seeing it pop all over the place. Pop up. It's popping up like zits. Of the whole porn revenge situation that Ariane Air Mattress and Martell basically was trying to plot against Mel at the expense of getting other people involved. And truth be told, I know a lot of people want to drag Carson Blue, the woman who revealed to the bloggers and revealed to Mel about the sick and twisted plot that Martell and Ariane Air Mattress was trying to formulate against Mel. And of course, a lot of people are holding grudges against Tisha for also playing a part in the situation, nevertheless. But this is my whole perspective on this. As much as we want to, go in on the other people who have played a part in it, Tisha, Carson, Blue, and whoever else that has involved themselves and played a role in this situation, regardless of how small or big their role was in trying to come together and involve themselves in this situation. The whole root of the problem is Martell. Bottom line, Martell is the demonic leader of how this whole situation was being orchestrated. I really could care less about Tisha, about Carson Blue, and really I could care less about Ariane Air Mattress, because we already know she's been a pawn in this game from day one, because like I told y'all, she's part of the breakage of the anointing of the marriage. So Ariane will always be cursed. She has binded herself to Martell, so she will always be a demonic puppet that he can continue to play with for the duration of his life, because we already know that she doesn't have the common sense of a pine cone. As you can see, she does not think for herself. She had to go through Carson Blue, and I won't be surprised if it's not other women who she tried to use and come through and go through to try to appease Martell to attack Mel. We already know Ariane is weak. We know Ariane air mattress is gullible. And we know that she's already under the curse of Martell. Once you have sexually involved yourself with somebody else's husband, you, especially a man that is already troubled, you will adopt those same nasty flaws and characteristics. Because keep in mind, when a man and a woman, they sleep together, two comes together as of one. No different than a man who goes out there and sleeps with a prostitute. He has binded himself to that woman. Even if it was just a financial transaction and there was no relationship or anything to become of it, he has binded himself to that woman. This is how serious and detrimental adultery and having sex with other people outside your marriage is. It keeps you binded under a demonic contract. So we know that Ariane is going to forever be binded because she will not repent. She does not have a relationship with the Lord. She has not asked God for forgiveness. So she's forever keeping herself in bondage with Martell. She has signed a life contract with the devil. And even more so because she had a demon child from a demon man. Y'all can sit up there and make excuses for why the child acts out the way that he does, but I already told y'all, and I made that very clear to y'all, that that child carries the spirit of his demonic mother and his demonic father. So, nevertheless, y'all, I want to get deep into this. I've been listening to different bloggers. I've been listening to everybody share their perspective on Carson Blue. Some people think she had ill intentions, that things went wrong between her and Ariane air mattress, so she's trying to save face and save herself by exposing Ariane. Some people think that she was genuine in her exposing Ariane due to the fact that Mel did confirm that Carson Blue did reach out to her. We can go through all the analytics of how that went down. The bottom line is, I don't want nobody losing focus, because that's what the enemy does. The enemy wants y'all to lose focus on really who is the problem. And the enemy, that's what the enemy does. The enemy likes to distract. The enemy, let me tell you what the enemy does. The enemy distracts and deflects. Okay? And we know that that Martell is the king of deflecting. We've seen him do it a million times since this show started. We've seen him flip the script, manipulate, bringing up everything everybody else has done, down to his wife, down to Ariane. He's always blamed everyone else but himself. That is how the enemy works. He deflects, wants to bring up the figment of his imagination of what everybody else has done wrong to him, without him having to take accountability for what he does. Also, to distract by going so far as to getting Ariane air mattress, a woman who he knows that is already troubled like him, who is already failing like him, who already doesn't have much to lose like him. He's leeching off the gullibleness of a female by getting her to do his dirty work, because he's not man enough to do it himself. He wants to assign another soul that's just as lost as him and have her do the dirty work. I'm not losing focus here, y'all. I don't know about y'all, but I know the problem is Martell. I don't give a damn about no Carson Blue. I don't give a damn about no Tisha. We know Tisha is fake. Tisha Tissue will continue to be fake. And we know she's jealous of Mel. We already know that. Tisha is going to be Tisha. So I don't expect nothing but, if Tisha was involved, if she wasn't involved, we know how Tisha moves. Carson Blue, whatever this young lady's intentions is, the bottom line was she never slept with Martell, and she's not Martell's side chick. So whatever role she played in with getting herself involved with Arion, I can care less about that. The problem, it boils down to Martell. This is another strategy of deflecting and distracting like it has always been. And I'm surprised that people are falling for the okie doke. Okay? So, regardless of what this Carson Blue put this out here, she's exposing Arion, whether if it's to save herself or not. The bottom line was she got exposed. I know this much. I said this on my last upload I did, y'all. I told y'all this show was long overdue. I don't know how many of y'all watched my show or saw the last one that I did. The last show I did, y'all, was called The Martell Curse Has Contaminated No Love and Distraction in Huntsville. I got a new term for what I call a show. I'm gonna let y'all know in a minute, because this show is definitely not,
she had to deal with you.
It's not shedding light at all on what it was designed for. No love, this is what I call a show. Instead of love and marriage in Huntsville, I call it no love and bashing in Huntsville. That's what I call, because it has become a bashing fest. It has become very chaotic. It has become extremely watered down. It has become a whole scandal. The show has become a scandal, and the show is basically circulating itself around not love, not marriage, but it's all about bashing and destroying male. The show has centered itself around destroying male, and this is the reason why I told you ladies on my last show that I did, the Martell Curse, which was called The Martell Curse Has Contaminated Love and Marriage in Huntsville. It came to light. Just like I told y'all. I told y'all on my last show. The Martell Curse is contaminating the show. And it's coming to life. If y'all ladies remember me having this conversation, please hit 1. Please hit 1. Because I need confirmation that I said this was going to happen. I said it, and it came, and it's coming into fruition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a couple of snippets from my last show that I did to let y'all know I knew this was coming to this, and this was the reason why I stopped supporting the show years back. I stopped supporting it because too many people are giving Carlos King and Martell too much leeway by supporting and watching this show and knowing that Mel is being disrespected and dragged. And my thing is this, even though Mel wanted us to support the show, and I understand that because we got so much love for her, we were hanging in there for her sake, but it's like supporting a woman who's getting abused by her husband or her boyfriend, and yes, she still wants you to invite you over to her house for a cookout. She still wants to invite you over for dinner. And how can you go to her house and look at her husband's face and know this man is mentally and emotionally abusing this woman? Any woman who has gone through that or has any real compassion, you're just not going to sit there and ignore and act like it doesn't mean anything to you. This is the reason, ladies, why I stopped watching the show. I refuse to watch Carlos King and Martell, with the wicked Martell movement meaning everybody's moving for Martell, supporting Martell, and everybody is basically willing to give him a pass regardless of all the disrespect that he has contributed towards this show. Martell holds no real value on the show. I really don't understand what his role is. He doesn't own a business. He no longer has a wife. I get, Mel's not married to him either, so she doesn't have a husband or anything. But she has businesses. She has other things that she can contribute to the show. Martell is dead weight. He's just there for decoration purposes only. He's just a prop. But the problem is he's being used to destroy and dismantle Mel. And when this last live came out recently with Mel doing an interview, you can tell at this point it had broken her all over again. Just as soon as she built her strength and built her faith back up, and she was building herself up, and ladies, we all have been there, where you've been so broken down, but you're finally building your strength back up. You're finally rebuilding your faith. You're in a good state of mind, and the enemy comes at you full force from a whole nother angle once you start building your strength. This is the reason why I want Mel to leave this show, and I said it. So for those of you who did not catch my last live, I'm going to play some of the things that I said to show y'all and prove that I knew it was only a matter of time. When you have too many snakes in the pit, you can't keep conquering. You can grab these snakes one by one, but when there's too many coming up against you, you're going to get bit so many directions. And this is the reason why I really want Mel to find her peace by leaving these snakes alone on the show, only for the ratings to continue to drop, only for everybody's 2 minutes of fame to continue to drop. But I'm going to play a snippet, y'all, of my last show, because I want y'all to know I called this out already. I called this out. So we're going to go ahead and play some snippets. I'm going to play this from my phone. So hopefully my volume is up. Let me make sure my volume's all the way up. So yes, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and play some of my show. I'm going to pause in between to make a few points. So just be patient and everything. Also, if I have time, if time don't get too far away from me, I want to play a couple of snippets from Mel interview when she was having her moment of I would say a minor meltdown. It wasn't extreme, but I definitely felt her pain. All of us felt her pain because it's but so much a person can take. But let's go ahead on and continue, and we'll just let nature take its course and see how things go. What Mel has gone through, and it just amazes me that you have some women out here that are so thirsty that they're still going to keep lifting a man up regardless of how disrespectful he is, as long as he looks good. Let me reiterate that. They're going to keep lifting a man up that keeps tearing a woman down. That sounds more like it to me. Let's continue. He's just a trophy dude. A trophy dude is a guy that just looks good. Like a trophy looks good on the shelf, but he doesn't have any other purpose. But looks good. Because if you think about it, that's all a trophy does. A trophy just looks good. And that's all Martell could provide. But you have some women, that's how Ariane got caught up. That's how Sheree got caught up. You have a lot of women, they will specifically deal with a man based on how he looks, because I can't see what Martell has to offer. Not a goddamn thing. He may not even be that great in bed, but if you're a woman that's not experienced and you have not been made love to correctly, it does not take much for any man to enter into your body, and it feels good to you. If you're not used to real love, if you're not used to a man being intimate with you versus having sex with you, you won't see the difference. All good wood is not good wood, and I'll just put that out there. Well, just because a man can make you climax That does not necessarily mean he's good at what he does. You know, if a man makes you feel empty inside after y'all have had y'all sexcapade, you know, then he's really not as good as you think he is, because sex is not just a sexual act. It's more than just a man entered inside your body. It's how that man makes you feel after he has entered your body. How he makes you feel as a woman in general. That's how you know the difference. And it's sad, but so many women out here been touched by so many men. They don't know the difference between good touch and bad touch. All they know touch is a touch. And you got some women that's just tired. I'm tired. I'm not T-I-R-E-D. I am T-I-E-D. I'm tired. I'm good and tired of watching everybody on this show with these dry ass storylines. And most of their storylines revolve around attacking male, talking about male, saying something about male, while they hide their own personal issues and just make gunning for male, that's their storyline. Now, I had to kind of push it up a little bit. Basically, what I'm saying here is why I stopped watching the show. So this is the reasons on why I've been stopped supporting No Love, you know, the No Love and Bashing in Huntsville show. So that's basically where I'm explaining why I no longer support it. And the fact that Carlos King and the production, the whole production staff, they just they allow it. They allow people to be sacred about their own personal issues and make male the topic of discussion. And it's very frustrating as a fan and a viewer of this show to keep watching a train wreck. Now, I do know that Mel is co-producer, executive producer, however, whatever position she has. But I cannot and will not continue to keep seeing my sister get dragged and mistreated. I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. I've been over it. I'm so over it. That's why I made those t-shirts. No Martell Mammy Zone. I'm just over it. By the way, I still have those t-shirts on sale, ladies. If you're interested in a No Martell Mammy Zone t-shirts, email me, cafedepara79@yahoo.com. They only come in black and white. And I will inform you of the price when you email me. Just thought I'd put in my little advertisement. I'm tired of it. It's too much, because realize, as viewers, we get emotionally invested into these type of shows. You know, I remember from day one seeing how all of these couples seem like black entrepreneurs that was actually had a significant purpose in Huntsville. The show started off as inspiring black love, that you can have the way it originally was, you can have a marriage and be successful. You can have a family and be successful. And then over time, like a lot of these reality shows, people's skeletons start coming out the closet. And sometimes the very thing you love about these individuals end up being the very same thing you hate. You know, like a lot of us, for instance, like with the Atlanta Housewives of Atlanta, and this is not... So let me go ahead and push up, y'all, because I'm trying to get to my main point. It's just time for it to be done. I think they ran a good run. It's just over. It's just really over at this point. There's nothing refreshing enough to keep the show going. Now, keep in mind, I want to pump the brakes here. This is my opinion. I think as the numbers continue to decline, the more desperate they're going to become to bring the numbers up, that they're going to raise the bar. They're going to up the ante. I'm sure all of the cast members are watching the numbers just as much as the production crew and Carlos King is. I'm sure everyone is panicking, especially those like Martell and Marceau and the rest of these individuals who don't have a lot going on, but specifically Martell, they're going to do things more outlandish at this point because desperation is setting in. And the more they see these numbers declining, they're going to panic and realize that, especially if they don't have any other avenues, they don't have any other shows they can get on, they don't have any businesses, they have no other alternatives other than banking on this show as their source of income. At this point, you can't put nothing past how far anybody will go to try to sustain a position within the show. Keep in mind, Carlos and Martell is very close. They probably have a lot of lunches together, dinners together, and bromance sessions. Who's to say Carlos ain't telling him, look, this show's not doing too well. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to resuscitate and keep giving this show life because the numbers are declining. I'm concerned that if we don't get some type of change or direction or something, that we're going to lose the show. Because at this point, I don't trust nobody in this whole ordeal, other than Mel, because she's not the one that's trying to destroy anybody. A lot of people are coming from Mel, so at this point, I can't say who's not leading or guiding someone to continue pushing a knife in her back. But I'm going to go ahead and continue. Turn my phone back on. It's like to me, the show is on life support. The show is on life support, and they keep trying to resuscitate it with these stale storylines. It's forced. Nobody's not really talking about anything to keep the audience interest. The storylines they're doing is dry, and it seems like the only way people can find relevance or keep a spot, attack Mel or talk about Mel. Nobody wants to talk about their business. Nobody wants to talk about, like, Stormy. She doesn't want to address that. That would have been a perfect time for her, even if she was going to lie, to use the show as an advantage. And now I will also say this, Proverbs chapter 29 verse 12. If a ruler listens to lies, all his officials become wicked. I totally believe that because Carlos is leading this show, and he's listening to all of the lies that are being told about Mel, it's basically corrupting the whole show, and it's corrupting all of the cast members. So as the scriptures say, if a ruler listens to lies, which is the person that's leading the show, which is Carlos, the verse continues, all his officials become wicked, meaning now everyone is becoming wicked and chaotic and malicious, because you got to realize everybody is following the leader, which is Carlos, and Carlos is allowing himself to be led by Martell, which we all know is a full-fledged demon. He's a full-fledged demon. He has full-term membership to hell, and at this point I don't think he even minds going, as long as he can destroy Mel before he gets to hell. He's okay with going to hell. So keep in mind, this is the reason why this show is slowly but surely crashing like a plane, because the ruler has allowed himself to be corrupted by liars, which is Martell. Martell is the foundation. We can look at everybody. We can look at Arion Air Mattress. We can look at Tisha. We can look at all of this derived from Martell. Everybody sees how Martell has an alpha male, and what it is, because the rest of these individuals never had a strong liking for Mel. Even when she was married to Martell, everybody's joining the let's bash Mel bandwagon with Martell. And one thing about it, if people see your own family, your own loved ones, whether if it's an ex-wife or whoever, they see them trampling all over you, they're going to come in and join in on the fun. Because what better way to help conquer you than to get close to somebody who knows you better than anyone else? And that's basically what's going on here. Tisha them been having it out for male. Okay? Arion been having it out. So what better way when you get the person closest to your threat, which is male? So anytime they see Martell, being maliciously strategic and is coming at Mel and trying to destroy her, everybody's going to join on in, because he's basically passing out. Let's destroy Mel membership cards. Like Sam's Wholesale is passing out free samples. He wants a whole army because he's not strong enough to defeat Mel by himself. He's tried it. We've seen him fail successfully. Through every business venture he has tried to develop, through every court case he has tried to get full custody of the children, he keeps losing. So when a person does not feel strong enough at conquering you alone, what they have to do is recruit other people just as wicked and jealous and thirsty as them. So that is what is going on. So we will continue. I told y'all this on my last content. That's why I'm playing this. I've been over this show, y'all, to making people believe why they weren't getting their items, where I'm getting ready to branch off. Go ahead and move it up some. Starts recruiting even more individuals to come together to try to devour you. It's like being a helpless. It's like being a helpless kitten, locked up in the cage with a bunch of pit bulls. What you think is going to happen? There's strength in numbers, and the enemy knows this. A lot of times, whether if you're on a job, or rather if you are beef for the ex-husband, ex-wife, and you got in-laws who never liked you, there is strength in numbers. So people wait to come together when they know you're at your most vulnerable moment, meaning that vulnerable not meaning weak, but knowing that you're by yourself. And what it is, a lot of these individuals know Mel is predominantly by herself, which we know Mel is not by herself because she has the armor of God surrounding her. But we're just saying from a carnal minded position that a lot of these individuals are looking at Mel as if she's by herself. So what they're doing is there's strength in numbers, and they're all trying to come together. Listen, one ant can't do a lot of damage. But if you ever stepped into a pile of ants and all of those ants come out and land on your foot and you wearing open toe sandals, they could really tear you up. And we know ants are very small. But if you have 200, 300 ants, them things can destroy you, as small as they are. So as the saying goes, there are strength in numbers. When you have more than one enemy coming up against you, it can really overwhelm you, and it can become a bit too much. You're going to get attacked. You're going to get mauled. You're going to get devoured. You're going to be destroyed. And the thing about it is, you have Carlos, you have the production crew. They are intentionally setting people up to attack Mel. Like bringing Martell to Melody's daughter's birthday party. The crew knew better. The production crew knew better, and so did Martell. But y'all allowed it because y'all trying to resuscitate a dead show. And you know what? This is the problem. The show is basically on life support. And that's why Carlos is reaching. That is why Martell is reaching. A lot of them are reaching, trying to keep a spotlight to set Mel. Mel doesn't have to do the reaching because she has other projects going on. In fact, it got so bad, Carlos had to make the cast. He had to force fake them to get along. And we all knew that's not authentic. We know they really don't like Mel. They don't care for Mel. So At this point, when you have to start forcing people to get along, the show is not authentic. It means it's over. Meaning that if y'all wasn't aware that the reason why Tisha started calling herself getting along, you notice she ain't been cutting up too much lately, because so many people was they was getting, Carlos them had got the word that a lot of people was getting frustrated with seeing Mel constantly get picked on and bullied. So he's hearing all the complaints. Trust and believe, just because Carlos is not addressing it, he's not responding to it, on his Twitter or his Instagram, he hears what's going on. It's trust and believe, it's being brought to his attention. Trust and believe that. He probably can't even go to Starbucks and get a cappuccino without somebody look at him with the side eye like, how long is this gonna go on, queen, king, whatever you want to call yourself? So he knows he had to force them to get along so people will stop hating the show so much. But evidently he's not doing a really good job at that. But we'll continue. I'm just ready for them to pull the plug. The show is over. And I get Melanie, she's been trying to get people to still support the show, watch it, and Mel, we love you, but it's people out here like myself, we can't do it. We cannot stand to sit here and watch people bully you, attack you, and you have to keep being a cordial and humble one, because at the end of the day, you are a human being. You can only take but so much. It's but so much keeping a smile on your face and acting like I'm this virtuous woman of God. I can take whatever's thrown at me. It comes a point where people snap. Because you done allowed it to build up, and build up. Now let me pause. This is the main key ingredient. That is why when I saw Mel having that meltdown on that show, I knew it was only a matter of time. You could only be but so strong. It's like being in an ocean. You're trying to float and keep your head above water, but depending on how strong those waves are, and if it's too many waves, them waves is going to pull you all the way on in to where you can't even, as the water gets deep, you can't even pull your way back because you're so far in it, because there's too many waves pulling you in. That meltdown to me came from, I can only be as strong as I can possibly be. I've reached my breaking point. And it doesn't make her less than a woman. It doesn't make her look bad at all. She has every right to be vulnerable and cry, because at this point in time, this woman has been strong for a very long time. And I'm sure all of you ladies would agree with that. She's kept her composure for a very long time. But when you have that many snakes coming up against you, when you have a whole army, you can't even if you have a weapon, when you have a whole army and they're pulling out their weapons, what good is your AK-45 when you have everybody else who got all their AK-45s? You cannot conquer a whole army. No matter how strong you think you are. This is why I said this on my last content, that it's going to be too much. And it finally came to light, just like I said, when Carson Blue revealed that Arion was trying to make a decision about putting out a porn tape that was specifically made between Mel and between Martell. Martell wanted Arion to pose as another guy from a fake account to put the sex tape out and make it seem like the sexual act being done in the video came from another man, so it'll make Mel look like she was out there hoeing or whatever. Nothing is wrong with doing a sex tape between husband and wife. Husband and wife are allowed to be intimate and have sex through the eyes of God. But Martell, of course, because he's emptying his clip, he doesn't have much bullets left in the clip. This may be his last and final straw, the last bullet in the chamber. And he basically was trying to I can't talk, y'all. Coerce Arion air mattress, which we know was dumb and thirsty, for Martell to put this tape out. And Arion, not being a confident female that she pretends to be, she went to Carson Blue, a woman who she was trying to befriend, so she could somehow, some way get in good with this woman, earn some clout. The woman is a stylist, because let's face it, Martell and Air Mattress, they're just alike. They're only going to deal with you if you got clout, if they feel like they could benefit from you, like Martell and 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝑼, but that's another story. They only connect with people who they feel like they can get somewhere with. Carson Blue somewhere saw her moving funny, you know what I mean? And a lot of people are mad with Carson Blue. Like I said, she's not the main problem here. Let's not lose focus. The problem is, all of this is Martell's fault. That's who it boils down to. Because Martell never respected his marriage, he was the one that implanted that idea that made Arion go and tell this woman about it in the first place. Either way y'all look at it, all of this derives from Martell. Like I said, the enemy's job is to distract and deflect. Let me put out this porn tape so everybody could see how Mel really get down. So again, that's taking the focus off of him. That is what the enemy does. But God is good, because it is painful as it was exposed before that tape could get out there, before that video footage could get out there. See, sometimes when we think we're down to nothing, God is always up to something. So God knew. And regardless of what people want to say about Carson Blue, sometimes it takes betrayal to bring exposure. And the reason I know this is because I recently had a situation with a family member who, all this time, it took something bad to happen. No, it didn't take something bad to happen. It took a simple misunderstanding for this individual to come clean and finally say, well, I've been feeling some type of way. Let me tell y'all about the most honest people on this planet. The most honest people are a child, a drunk, an elderly person, and an angry person. Those four are the most honest people on this planet. And I'm going to tell you why. A child is honest because by them not having the maturity of what to say and what not to say, they're only going to say things for what they see it. Because children go off of observation. Whatever they see, that's what they call it out for. If they see a red ball, they're going to say it's a red ball. They're not going to know how to lie and call it a blue ball or green ball, because they don't have that type of discretion. They don't have that mentality yet to know how to lie or manipulate. So a child is going to be honest. That's why people say children are brutally honest. That is what being a child is about, because they don't have the maturity to know how to lie about things. So a child is honest. Secondly, elderly people. Elderly people are extremely honest because they have been through so much. They've gone through years of trials and tribulations, and they have reached an age in their life in which they no longer care what people think about them. They no longer care how people see them or judge them. That's why you be seeing these old people walk around wearing funny pants with suspenders or funny wigs, because they have reached a point in their life where they're all about being comfortable and settled. It's not about impressing or trying to put on a show for anyone, because they've done all of that during their younger years. So as they get older, they're going to be brutally honest because they've been there and they've done that. The other two that are on the honest list is a drunk. Call it liquor courage, whatever you want to call it. Some people don't have the boldness to say how they always been feeling, and until they had that Hennessy, that Ciroc, or that tequila, whatever it is they drink. A lot of people, when they get drunk, they say a lot of hurtful things, and the next day they can remember they said something hateful, like, oh, if I said anything wrong, oh, forgive me, it was the alcohol. You ain't been that discombobulated if you can remember that you said something wrong, and you can remember that you drank to say it. So if a person says something to you under the influence of alcohol, trust and believe they meant what they said. It just took them to get the liquor courage to say it. So don't fall for the I was drunk, I was drinking, I didn't mean it like that. If they said it while they was drunk, they meant it. We're not going to do the Jamie Foxx, blame it on the alcohol. No, you meant what you said. The last most honest person is an angry person. When a person says something really hurtful and painful, and then they try to deflect by saying, I didn't mean it, I was just mad, I just had a bad day, I just had so much going on. The truth is, they meant exactly what the hell they said. It just took them to get mad with you about something to say it. It took them to be angry with you for you to say it. This particular person that is in my family, she waited for an opportunity of a misunderstanding to come up for her to finally put out there how she really felt, and had the audacity to say, I've been feeling this way. Listen, when a person comes clean with you and say, I've been feeling this way, let me tell you something. That's a very dangerous spirited person, because there's no way a person who been feeling some type of way should even want to be in your presence. They shouldn't even want to be in your company. So if they can sit around you, drink with you, eat with you all that time, and it takes a situation to bring out their true colors, well, you know what? I've been feeling this way. No, it took you to get mad to say it. So don't fall for the I was drunk, I was angry. They meant exactly what they said. So we know the biggest orchestrator is Martell. Martell was the one who was trying to persuade Arion Air Mattress into helping him put this video out here, which is sick. Because if you're a side chick, why would you want to put out a video of your baby daddy getting fellatio from his wife or whatever the case is that you already threatened and jealous of? I don't get it. But Arion Air Mattress done already proved that her elevator does not go all the way up. Then that's when Arion took it to Carson Blue, and because even she knew it was wrong. I really don't want to do this. You may not want to, but because you got so much love and you have a demonic bond with Martell, because y'all have a demonic child between each other, you're going to always come through for Martell, even if it means hurting yourself in the process. And that's what happened. I want everybody not to lose focus. Everybody dragging Carson Blue. She's irrelevant right now. She's not important. This been a mess before Carson Blue got in it. Everybody's coming at this woman, and y'all are falling for the okie doke, because once again, Martell has succeeded. He wants to distract and deflect. Y'all talking about Carson Blue and Arion more than y'all talking about Martell. And he is the reason all of this came out. Get back into focus. No, y'all going into Martell Mammy zone if you're focusing on Carson and Arion. Who started this? Look at the foundation. Let's continue. And build up, and that I don't want. Because Mel has more to lose than any of them on that show. We know these couples, Marceau, Tisha, Maurice, Kimmy. I don't have too much issues with Kimmy, but the rest of this cast is done for. If you remove Mel, nobody would have the show is done. Unless people start being transparent about what's really going on. If Marceau and Tisha be transparent about what's going on with their business, about the lawsuits they're up against, then maybe the views will start peaking up. If they start being more transparent, and they're not gonna do that, open about their marital issues, but Carlos is giving them the pass to share what they want to share, and to me that kills the purpose of having a reality show. Think about it. If a person can pick and choose what they want to discuss and not discuss, it defeats the purpose. Well, I'm not. I want to make sure I'm mostly got y'all hearing the highlight points. I'm discussing a lot of things in this video, but if I'm pausing or going in because I want us to focus on the key ingredients. Proverbs chapter 22, 10th verse. Drive out the mocker and conflict will depart. Drive out a scoffer and strife will go out, and quarreling and abuse will cease. Drive out the mocker and conflict will depart. Even quarreling and insults. Who do y'all think is the mocker? First of all, let's define what's a mocker, y'all. Let's define what's a mocker. Let's define it. What in the... Oh, shoot. My bad. That's why my phone... I'm like, how's these keyboard is... Press some buttons. I have my phone on it. Let's look up mocker. I have an idea of what it is, but because I want us to really, really define mocker. Okay, so a mocker, that's mockery. I want mocker. A mocker is a person who mocks someone or something. Basically, meaning a person who likes to torment, a person who likes to instigate, a person who's basically a shit starter. Excuse my French. Y'all know I'm not all the way right with the Lord over here. I'ma still read my scriptures, but y'all know I'm not all the way right. I'm still a work in progress. Praise the Lord. Nevertheless, drive out the mocker, which is Martell. Martell the mocker. Martell the mocker. Drive out Martell the mocker, and out goes strife. Quarrels and insults are ended. Still on Proverbs chapter 22, verse 10, but this is the New Living Translation. Throw out the mocker. Let me put that. Throw out Martell the mocker, and fighting goes too. Quarrels and insults will disappear. In other words, if male does not want to leave, then they're going to have to at least remove Martell from the show. Something's got to give. And my thing is, if they're not willing to work with Mel by removing the marker, which is Martell, then Mel is going to need to remove herself. Because at this point, it's just not worth it. It's not worth the aggravation that she's going through. Let's continue. Let's continue with this. Go back to, okay. It's not a reality show. You're not showing us your reality. Because you're cherry picking. You're picking, oh, well, I will let them in if you didn't catch my last live where I talked about Carlos. Some of these individuals, these baristas, and what I mean by barista, they're supposed to be like, they're still a brother because they still like a man. They still have their genital parts. They're still a man by nature, but they're also a sister because they're supposed to relate to. They're supposed to be, basically relating their lifestyle to being a woman, carrying themselves. Basically, what I've been saying on this one is Carlos is supposed to be like a barista, a man that is still for the women or supports women because he supposedly wants to be a woman or whatever. But I also stated that you have a lot of these individuals that have evil intentions, because the truth is some of these individuals that have that lifestyle, they really despise women. So anytime there's a situation in which they can low-key allow a woman to get attacked, they will allow it because it's the man in them that may have a strong disliking for women, but it's also that part of them because they want to become a woman themselves. They are threatened that the feminine qualities of that woman because that's what they desire for themselves. So therefore, they get some type of pleasure out of seeing women get hurt or disrespected. All of us at some point have seen these type of individuals that when they do get into it with a woman, they're really, really, really nasty. I'll never forget one time I was at a hospital in the waiting room with my husband. There was this transformer, and I'm gonna say it like that, who was walking by, and there was two ladies sitting on the side of me just talking, having girl chat. And I guess because of the way he looked, you couldn't help but to stare, because you can just tell he's one of them ones trying too hard, and it just wasn't a good look on them. So they kind of was taken back, and so was I. I probably wasn't as obvious because I know how to look without looking. But you got some people who just, they don't hide their facial expressions. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I guess he felt some type of way. No one said anything to him now. He out the blue. What is you bitches looking at? What the y'all looking at? He just had to have a moment, because again, for him to address women, automatically you prove you don't like women and you don't respect women, but yet you're trying to be one. The irony. He had to say that instead of going on about his business. So what? They're not disrespecting you, saying anything to you, but that's what he says, right? He says, what is you bitches looking at? We're in a lobby with your hospital, which is a public place, so imagine people, kids and stuff was there, seeing you look like a transformer. You already drawing attention, confusing the children. They don't know what you really are, and people there with their families and stuff like that. So the girl responds back, I'm still trying to figure out what the hell I'm looking at. I'm trying to figure it out. You know, she buffed up back on him, you know. So she was like, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm looking at. And I guess at this point, I can't remember if he said something back, but he just knew not to escalate it and take it any further. And that's when the ladies, you know, continued their conversation after he left. It was like, is he really serious? Nobody even said anything to him. But these individuals are very extra, because you got to realize they're trying to be something that they're not. And even when they act like us, you notice they overdo it. And the reason they force themselves that, yeah, girl, and so, we don't even do all of that. And we are women by nature. But when you're trying to be something you're not, you have to add and do extra to really convince yourself, as well as those who on the outside of you who don't know you, that you are really fit to play that part, you know. So that is where all this extraness be coming from. So anyway, you have a lot of people in that lifestyle who secretly despise women. So they can't wait for an opportunity to present itself in which a woman is being disrespected, because they're going to be right there, throwing a rock, hiding their hands, being a little puppet master, and allowing it to happen. And I believe, strongly believe, allegedly, let me say that, everything in here is based off my opinion. This is for entertainment purposes and educational purposes only. None of this stuff is actual, factual. It's just based on my opinion. This is my disclaimer. Let me continue. As a female, whether by dressing like one, rather than talking like one, they're basically are playing the role of being a female. So that's why I call these rainbow colored individuals, I call them baristas. Meaning you're supposed to be a man, but you're still supposed to have the best interest for the women, because you're supposed to be supposedly claiming yourself to be a woman. I mentioned before that a lot of these baristas, they low-key, undercoverly despise women. They despise the very thing they want to become. Yep.
They despise the very thing they wish they was.
Yes.
And when you really can't be what, you really can't really fully transition yourself into being a woman, sometimes you learn to build a certain amount of hostility towards women. Because at the end of the day, you really can't compete with a real woman. You are not that. I will say this respectfully. I have no problem with those who are totally happy being that way. Be happy being you. Enjoy it. Listen, I had a barista or two that I was friends with. We didn't leave on bad terms. They moved on. They moved into other states to do bigger and better things with their lives. So I don't have a problem with people who choose to be in that lifestyle. My problem is, what is your motives?
Yes, the motive.
For being in that lifestyle. Are you intentionally being that way so you can help men continue to be disrespectful towards women because
that's right.
You undercoverly got a strong disliking for women? So maybe you get a rise out of seeing a man go at maliciously dragging a woman, because maybe that's some low-key pleasure you get out of that because you really don't care for women. Some of these baristas, they just tolerate us for the sake of being able to benefit from us. They tolerate us to get money. They tolerate us to get certain positions or certain notoriety. And I would not be surprised if the Queen, Carlos himself, is low-key co-signing with Martell Shenanigans so he can help to destroy Mel, but he wants to do it from a slick distance where it don't look like he has anything to do with it. Now I love you can just tell the questions he be asking about constantly about
forward.
You go down. When they get buried in the dirt, you're gonna get buried right along with them. The Carlos already was evicted from Bravo. And instead of you coming over here using this as an opportunity to clean things up, with the love, clean your image up with the love and match of Huntsville, you actually making it worse. After this, I can't see anybody taking him serious. The only thing he could possibly do after this is probably have his own personal podcast.
So basically what I was saying is, because Carlos is participating and he has fell into the alignment of the Martell Curse by attacking Mel and going after Mel, most likely what's going to end up happening is when Martell crumbles, he's going to crumble with him. Whenever you cooperate with the enemy, whatever repercussion the enemy gets, you're going to also get it as well. That is what's going on with Ariane. Why you think Ariane cannot get ahead no more than Martell can? She's under the curse of Martell, and basically whatever Martell is going through, she's going through it triple. That's why Martell can't get business and she can't either. Don't put yourself in bondage with the enemy, y'all.
And do like little celebrity. You don't hang out with Maurice and Kimmy like that. What is going on? You're not making yourself look good.
So basically, what I was saying on this part is that it's been a lot of bromance allegedly between, and I don't mean that in a sexual way, but there's too much closeness between Carlos and Martell. And that's only because when you're that close to somebody, it's usually because you have a common enemy. And that's why I said Carlos is not good for Mel and not good for the show. And that's the reason I feel like this has really gotten out of hand and the show needs to shut down. They need to pull a plug. Martell should not, I meant to say Carlos should not be that close to anybody on the show. He should not be that close. He's just supposed to host the show. He's way out of pocket. He's going everywhere with Martell, doing sympathy interviews, sympathy, empathy, talk shows. He's in Martell's presence way too much. That shows a lot of favoritism to me. I don't see him dragging other cast members. I don't see him bringing Marceau and Tisha with him on other shows. I don't see him doing it with Kimmy and Maurice. And he doesn't do it with Mel a lot. My thing is, you're too close for comfort. And you're coming off as favoritism, Carlos. It's not a good look. You're supposed to be over the show. You shouldn't be bosom buddies with nobody. And it's just so obvious, y'all. It's so obvious. Mel is in a snake pit. Ray Charles can see this from a distance. She got too many enemies coming up against her. But let me continue.
Carlos, even negative perception about black love, and that is they're holding back some information. The only couple who's been transparent throughout this whole show is done. It's over. So anyway, y'all, before I get ready to shut it down, please hit that.
So basically, this recent interview, Mel knows now she's at her breaking point. She's at her breaking point. And this is why I stated the show needs to pull the plug. At this point, it's not about the money. It's not about whatever reasons Melanie is feeling it's necessary for her to stay. It's not worth it anymore at this point. It's going to take a toll on her mental and her spiritual health. It's time for the show to end. You have to realize when you are way in over your head. Prime example before I get ready to shut things down. My last job I was on, I was a former correctional officer. I knew that I had rubbed a person with a lot of clout. A person that had rank. I rubbed that person the wrong way when I kept reporting the individual. Because me being like Mel is trying to do, I meant I know my position. I know my faith in God. I'm going to stick this out no matter what. Y'all not running me from here. I'm going to be here. I was determined to stay in an environment which I knew I was not being treated correctly as an employee. I basically had to walk on eggshells. I was more cautious of my staff than I was the inmates working at the jail at that point in time. Being a correctional officer, a lot of people ask me the question, how was it working with the inmates? The inmates was never the problem. I got along with the inmates very well. I was well respected by the inmates there. And I had my 1 or 2 moments, but for the most part, I got a lot of respect in the jail. The disrespect came from my own staff. People who I was working with, like Mel, my own co-workers, like Mel, people that we're supposed to be working together to keep this jail running smoothly, like Mel's supposed to be working with these people to run the show smoothly. The dynamics are different, but it's pretty much the same situation, you feel me? I was trying to keep peace because I really wanted to stay for my own reasons, which was really the money. Now, I know for Mel, that's not the case with her. She don't need the money like that. Whatever reasons Mel is trying to stay, like I tried to stay, it comes a point when your back is up against the wall. And I noticed my back was up against the wall when I was no longer being heard. I went to the captain and reported what was being done to me. I went to the major, and reported what was done to me. I went to everyone on that job to basically plead, like, look, I really want to keep my job. I really don't want to keep reporting this person, but it's getting to be too much. This person was doing undercover Martell stuff intentionally, making my schedule where I had to work more hours than the other officers, writing me up for petty things, doing everything they could to get me removed out of there. And I just meant, no, I'm going to stay. If I got to report you 1,000 times, you're not moving me. And it comes a point, and even Mel said this, when God says go, it's time to go. And a lot of times when you don't have the strength to move yourself, God will move you from the situation. And I kid you not, God kept telling me, go, 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 go. I saw it was getting worse. I saw no matter what door I tried to open, I tried talking to this person, tried talking to that person, the door closed. The final straw was when I reported to the captain. I brought all the receipts showing him everything this woman was doing to me. He took it upon himself to side with this woman. The whole time I didn't even know they was friends, y'all. And when you're working at a job like that, even if you have friends, you're supposed to be non-biased. But because they had been there longer than me, both of them had higher ranks than me, I got defeated and in the long run ended up having to lose my job due to the fact that they was trying to save each other and no one was there to save me. So as much as it hurted for me to have to lose the job, what I gained was peace. What I gained was not having to watch my back. What I gained was, knowing that I don't have to put up this front And listen, it's very frustrating, and I get it. In some circumstances, you got to be cordial. You got to put up the face. But when you have tried every avenue, and we've seen Mel try every avenue, when you have tried every avenue and you keep getting the same results, it is time to abort the mission. Don't worry. If you don't abort the mission, God loves you enough where he'll remove you. And you're going to swear it has everything to do with them. No, God knows how much you can take. God knew I did not have the strength to remove myself, so he fixed it where I had to be removed. They couldn't terminate me because they caught me with an inmate because I was smuggling in drugs. It was, oh, she just wouldn't do what we needed her to do, because so she being insubordinate, we got to terminate her. It was just straight pettiness, you know. So that was all they had, and they used it. You know, it was nothing worth getting suspended for. All they had to do was just write me up. They do it with everybody else there. But because I came up against an army, an enemy, a giant, a Goliath that was too big for me to conquer, God didn't want me to keep punching the air and fighting a system that was way too corrupt, where I had no business being anywhere, any place, in the first place. Sometimes God have you in places for a season. Mel needs to realize she got what she needed out of the duration of her time there. It is time to move on. Either that, or God is going to have to do some divine intervention and remove the individuals that are trying to overly power her. Only in due time will we fully understand why God has done things in our life the way he has, and vice versa. When I kid you not, I've heard nothing but negative things ever since I left that place. They said it has gotten worse at that jail. They said the overtime is bad. It's triple. People keep quitting. They steadily firing people for petty stuff. So God showed me that I was not missing out on anything when he removed me from that. And I strongly believe that if Mel finds the strength to not worry about what that show is going to do, I understand that show has been her baby. She started it. She developed the show. But there's nothing wrong with leaving something you started behind, just like she had to do with her marriage. Same thing. Sure, it was painful, but in the long run, she had more peace leaving the marriage than staying. You know what I mean? So, because Martell is revealing every day that that was the wisest thing she ever could have done to save herself. But trust me when I say I get it. It's very hard when you started something and you put so much time, energy, and effort into it, and you've seen how much it has grown and brought you so many opportunities. You don't want to jump ship. Again, I was in that same position when I was working at the county jail. I became really good at what I was doing. It took me out of my fears. It made me more bold. It gave me a different type of boldness that I never had before. Having to be over 65 men for 13 to 17 hours at a time, it gave me a lot of confidence. But I realized that God had me there to build my boldness and to build my confidence. That did not mean I need to stay there. And what Mel needs to realize, maybe that was her purpose. Her purpose has been served in teaching other women that you can be strong. You don't have to tolerate a man disrespecting you just because you're married to him. Or you can still be a woman of grace even though you have a side chick that's trying to torment you. Mel served her purpose. She did everything she needed to do. She taught us everything that we needed to be taught as women. And I think it's now time for her to elevate and move herself forward. And I do believe that when she decides to walk away from this, whatever God chooses for her to do, that she's going to find so much abundant peace that she's going to be mad at herself that she didn't leave earlier. And I'm telling you, living witness, I wish I would have left my situation earlier. But God knew that I was going to be stubborn and I was going to prove, oh, hell no, y'all not making me go nowhere. I'm not going. I was going to keep going because I'm not a quitter. And I'm a Scorpio, coincidentally, like Mel. I'm not big in zodiacs, but I tell you one thing. Scorpios, we're very goddamn relentless. But we're so relentless to where we bite ourselves. We ignore the red flags like, go, 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 bitch, be gone, bitch, be gone. You know, we see the red flags, but we're so determined that we're not going to be defeated. We're not going to let nothing overpower us. So anyway, when God is ready for you to move, he's going to fix it for her to move. And I just want Mel to stay healthy. And I get it. Like I said, you don't want nobody running you from nothing, you know, but it's okay walking away. It's okay. It's not called giving up. It's called moving on. A lot of people are saying, no, she shouldn't just give up. It's not giving up. How is she giving up? She's accomplished everything she needed to accomplish on the show. It's just time for her to move forward unless God steps in and intercedes. But I've been said this is going to be too much. There's too many snakes in the pit that's coming up against her. I said that. And this recent incident in which they tried to formulate this revenge porn is a prime example. I'm not sure what else is going to take place at this point. But one thing I do know, ladies, that God is still in control. Even though God ain't moving the way we want him to move, he's not dragging and tearing Martell down like we want Martell to get that real beat down. Trust and believe God knows what he's doing. He makes no mistakes. When the time is right, he's going to shut it all down in due time. But in conclusion, please stop letting the enemy distract y'all. It ain't Carson Blue. It ain't Arion Air Mattress. This all started from Martell, a bitter man who has lost his marriage because of his own selfishness, his own lustful actions, and he's using whoever he can use, and the people he's using are people who are just like him. Greedy, jealous, and threatened by Mel. Do not be distracted by the enemy. Either way it go, all this boils down to is Martell. I'm not going to take my eyes off the prize. I don't give a damn who comes out and says this, this, and that. I know it came from Martell. Focus on Martell. Not Carson Blue. Not dumbass Arion Air Mattress. We know who the root of the problem is. None of this would have happened had it not started from Martell. Martell, you are the orchestrator of all of this. It's all your fault. Matter of fact, Arion wouldn't have never even had room to sabotage or torment Mel had you never dealt with her. Had you never got involved and had a child from her. All this boils down to Martell and Martell. I hope you know the Lord is already assigning your seat in the pits of hell. Anyway, y'all, no commercials, no nothing today since this is a long content. Please, ladies, hit that like button. Share my video. I so appreciate that. I didn't get to announce as many scriptures as I normally would because I just have so much to say about this. It just was a lot. It was a lot. With that being said, leave a like, leave y'all comment below. Let me know what y'all think. Is this a distraction, a deflecting tactic from Martell? Or do y'all just still want to blame everybody else like Arion Air Mattress, Carson Blue, Tissue, and Marceau? Y'all still want to keep pointing fingers at everybody else? Who do y'all think is really the goddamn problem here? Leave y'all comment below. Let me know what y'all think. Continue to donate. I appreciate the donations, ladies. Thank y'all so much for the change y'all been giving me, the $5, the $10, the $40. I really appreciate it, y'all. Y'all just don't be understanding how those blessings be coming through. Thank y'all. Anybody who chooses to donate, $ Diamond Girl, DYMONDGYRL. It is on my thumbnail in case you don't remember. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. Your girl got to get her hair done. Well, I'm actually going to do my own hair. So I'm going to probably upload the picture in my community tabs later because y'all know I do my own hair. So depending on how I feel, I'm going to do my own hair. I got some things I have to do today. I got to get my lashes done, y'all. I got a whole lot on my plate. I got to get all dolled up. So y'all have a wonderful weekend. I got to go upload on my other channel. I've been doing a lot of uploads on here. I've been neglecting my other channel. So I probably won't upload nothing on here again till next week sometime. So y'all be blessed. Take care and continue to pray for Melanie and pray for yourselves as well. Be blessed.